Hey folks, Matt with the water company here. I'm going to do a training video real quick on the initial startup. So I've got the system where I've got my water is on, going in. It's always in on this side, out on that side. It's going out to the house. You can see I have the water on. It's in bypass. When these are pointing towards each other, it's in bypass. When this is pointing this way and that is pointing that way, it's running parallel with this, and that is when it's in service. So I want to show you what to do right away. If you leave it bypass right now, we're going to start regeneration by holding this till it makes noise. This is just for the first startup to bleed out the air. I don't like to bleed the water in and bleed the air out on backwash, because sometimes you get a little bit more resin that way through the system. So now it's on backwash. Now hit next once. Press it, let it go. If it doesn't make noise, then press it again. Or, I'm sorry, press regen. That advances it to the next cycle. So the backwash is where it's cleaning out inside here usually, and it's running water backwards to loosen up all the resin bed. Now the draw is where it's drawing the salt saturated water out of here, going into here. It's 90-minute cycle, but it's not actually going to take that long to suck the water out. Only about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Then it's going to be just soaking all the resin in here. I'm going to press this again though. Now it's on backwash too. It's going to stir the water up again from the bottom to loosen everything up really good and get it ready for the rinse cycle. Now I'm going to hit this again, regen. Now it's on rinse. This is where it's flowing the regular direction. This is where, once I'm there, I'm going to open this up. And you're going to start hearing it as it goes down there, burping all the air out. So open this one up, open this one. You see now this is like a feather pointing, or an arrow pointing this way, and that one's pointing that way. And you can also see the arrow for the in or the out. This is the air bleeding through here. That's okay. I'll do this to soften the sound a little bit. In a brand new house, you want to make sure that you watch it through this cycle, because you don't want to find out that this thing is clogged up or it never got connected to the septic tank after you walk away and it goes through a regeneration cycle at 2 in the morning and the homeowners are calling you. So I always make sure water goes down here, it flows for a while. So when I start the system up, you can see this is only a 9-minute cycle. I'm just going to leave it at that, because during this 9 minutes, it's going to be rinsing all that resin and flushing all the manufacturing dust off of it. What I am going to do after it's done with this is I am going to tell it to regenerate tonight, because I want it to go through the full cycle. But 2 things I want to do right now. I'm letting it burp out the air and rinse out the resin, just quick, so we could use water right away. But then after this rinse, it's going to go into the water fill cycle. That's where it fills the water into here, and it's going to be putting water through that line, in through there, down the bottom, and fill up some water into this salt tank. Now, it takes about 2 hours to get a good brine solution. I want it to do that, and I want to regenerate it tonight. I always like to do it on the first night when it's started up to get a really good wash and a fresh start. Because even though I'm rinsing it right now, it's going to be taking some of the calcium and magnesium out of the water that's going in there now. I want it to have full capacity and a full wash. So that's it to that. After 8 minutes, it moves to the fill cycle. After that's done, it'll go back to in service, or it'll say softening here, which means it's in service. And when it's in service, then water's going to be flowing through it into the house. Right now, it's automatically bypassed inside here. I have water going in and out of it here, but it's still only using water in. On the outside, it's taking the hard water, still running it through it. But once it's in service and it says softening right up here, that means it's in service, and now water's actually going through the valve down there on the outside of a tube, and then sucking through a strainer tube and going back up through and out into the house. So when it's done with all this, when it's on the time, I will just press this like this. I'll press it and let go. I don't want it to make the noise like we did just now. And then you'll see at the top, it'll say softening, and then it'll toggle back and forth between saying softening and regen today. Regen today means it's going to regenerate at 2 a.m. tonight, and that's what I want it to do on the first time. After that, just walk away, forget about it, that it even exists, unless you want to take a look at some of the stuff that you've seen in the other videos or demonstrations where you can see if you have a water leak in your house by what it's showing you, any of that stuff. And so you just keep feeding this thing salt. Remember, don't fill it up more than halfway. You don't want to end up with salt bridging, and I recommend using the pellets because they're less prone to the salt bridging than the crystals. Hope that helps.